The Albanian flag depicts a double-headed eagle, which is a symbol for the country. It comes from the Byzantine Empire, who ruled over much of Eastern Europe, which is why their symbolism can still be found in Russia, Serbia, Bulgaria, and Albania. The symbol was simply passed down through various empires and states of the region, but local folklore would suggest a different origin of the eagle symbol. A hunter once kidnapped a baby eagle. This upset its mother, who offered the hunter protection for the rest of his life. This offer was too good to refuse, so from that day onward, the hunter had an eagle circling above him for protection. He became a renowned hunter and was eventually made king of Albania. Canadian provincial flags are interesting. They tend to represent a country of heritage along with the New World. British Columbia's flag shows the Union flag, obviously representing British heritage, and the sun representing the actual land. The Quebec flag is especially pretty. The cross represents Catholicism, and the fleur-de-lis symbol represents France, with a hint to French monarchism. French settlers in the New World were often more loyal to the French king than the people of France were, so a lot of places once conquered by the French still use the symbol today. Places like New Orleans and Port Louis. Hawaii is the only US state flag to show another country's flag on it. A lot of places have the Union flag at the top left of their own, as they were once part of the British Empire. But Hawaii never was a British territory. So what the hell are they playing at? Well, it goes back to when Hawaii was an independent kingdom. As a relatively weak group of islands, the British had huge influence over its monarchs, so the flag was drawn up to represent Hawaii's friendship with the British Empire. The modern version is a deliberate combination of the British and American flags. The Gypsies have their own flag. On their flag, a cartwheel is shown in the center, representing the Romani tendency to be nomadic. The wheel featured was adapted from an Indian symbol called chakra, as their ethnic origin can be traced back to India. The Indian flag also features a chakra, which is an important symbol in Hinduism. The flag of Bhutan features a dragon, which instantly makes it one of my favorites. It's Druk, the thunder dragon, representing the Bhutanese monarchy. Belief in Druk goes back to the 12th century, when a Buddhist leader is said to have seen him in a nearby valley. He took this as a sign and built a monastery there. They believe he protects them and that thunder is caused by him. Realistically, the dragon symbol was exported from China, where it was used to represent emperors. The European Union flag is often misunderstood. It's said the 12 stars represent the original member states of the Union, but that's not true. It was designed before the Union even existed. It was the flag of the Council of Europe, which is a completely separate organization who enforce laws agreed upon by European countries. An earlier design featured a cross inside a circle, but the Turkish government rejected that. Malaysia's flag is deeply rooted in the country's history. The crescent moon represents Islam, as that's the official religion of Malaysia. It spread to Malaysia with the arrival of Arab and Indian traders in the 12th century, and by the 1600s, Islam was a major religion in Malaysia. The actual flag design was borrowed from the East India Company, who at one point built their own empire in India, which was eventually absorbed by the British Empire. It was a business, but held more influence than most nations of the time, so its flag and presence were well established in places like Malaysia. I mentioned Malaysia's crescent moon, which brings us to a bunch of other flags. It's been an important symbol in the Middle East since before the rise of Islam. Ancient kingdoms like Pontus used the crescent moon to represent them. At the birth of Islam, it was associated with mysticism, and so it was adopted by the Muslims. Since then, it has broadly symbolized Islam. The Ottoman Empire used it on their flag, which is why many of its successor states adopted similar flags. You'll notice a lot of flags look pretty much the same. It's because they all copied France. Until the revolution, France's flag looked like this, which, let's be honest, is a lot better. But it was associated with royalty, specifically the House of Bourbon, who were now overthrown, so it had to go. They kept the white color symbolizing monarchy, but squashed it with blue and red. Since then, France has changed flags several times, but kept going back to the tricolor. The style came to symbolize freedom and democracy, and so it spread to many more countries, which isn't great. I don't like the design, but royal flags were often much worse, to be fair. Most Nordic flags show the same cross design. It was adopted by Denmark in 1219. The Nordic countries have close historic and cultural ties. In fact, they were often involved in political unions with each other, like Norway, Sweden. Iceland was part of the Danish Empire, so it's no surprise they used the Nordic cross. Greenland was also part of the empire. In fact, it still is a Danish territory today, but they are the only Nordic country not to use the cross. Even Scotland's Orkney Islands use the cross. So that's the end of this video. If you want to support this channel, you can do so simply by leaving a like. And if you want more content from me, I have a second channel where I do different videos about different things.